Joey here at the Critical Missourian, where I talk about everyday life and about Missouri and beyond. And I'm just wanting to talk about something related to Missouri and how I'm finding it a very sad thing to find that the two minority languages that were spoken in pre-territorial days, or in the early days of the state history, are virtually dying out. Both Missouri French and Missouri German are becoming exceptionally rare and unique to the state, especially Missouri French, which is also known as Pawpaw French. And the people that there is only found in one town called Old Mines, whereas the Missouri Germans were only found mainly in the Missouri Rhineland, just around east of Jefferson City, on both banks of the Missouri River. So they kind of shape a little bit of the culture of the general area and are a part of Missouri's cultural past. And I find the situation was very, very disappointing. What I've researched that throughout time, that especially with Missouri French, the people were very much discriminated, and the laws were passed to only reflect that only English would be the dominant language. It's still law, which needs to be changed. Missouri German and Missouri French needs to be added in as protected languages in the state constitution. Because seriously, people, y'all may say, well, who cares? It doesn't matter. Well, I'll give you a little idea. When I was doing my own research on that heritage stuff, I was also surprised to find I have French ancestry and Canadian. One of my great grandmothers was from Quebec. And my great grandfather moved from New York, married my great grandmother from Canada, and they eventually, them and their descendants eventually settled in Missouri, and that was almost 150 years ago. So the point of this story is that over the time, our family, that branch of the family, does not have the ability to speak French anymore. So we've lost a bit of that branch of the family. It pretty much have lost a bit of their culture and their connection to the past. It's the same way with Missouri. Once you lose a part, and that, I mean, these two languages are moribund, meaning they're on the verge of extinction, especially Missouri French, because most of the speakers of the language are elderly, and because the discriminatory laws, many of them do not know the full language. They only know like bits and pieces that they've overheard their parents and grandparents say, but they were never taught the full every word of the language. So unfortunately, it's on the verge of extinction, although there is revival efforts on both Missouri German and Missouri French. It just, I think it's a very, I think it's a very sad state that that this has gotten to. I mean, the state actually owes a lot to these people. I mean, especially when like I said, this terrible state laws only making English available. There was discrimination in the schools with people during that time. Anyone who was caught speaking French were severely punished. So the same, and the same story can be greatly related down in Louisiana. Louisiana and the French region of Missouri have suffered the same fate. The only difference is that there's higher chance that Louisiana French can survive and have a ability to turn things around. Missouri French may not survive. It may not survive. I mean, it's just sad. It's just sad to say it like that, but it's not. It may not survive because, like I said, all the speakers are mostly elderly. And there's missing vocabulary out of the language that has been lost because of the actions of the past. I'm for sure the same thing goes for Missouri German. They are also suffering possibly the same fate. Maybe. I'm not 100% sure of their status, but I know from what I've read and understand, they are also that are only a few elderly speakers that can speak Missouri German, and it's about to become extinct as well. So, anyhow, I just want to point out that I think, I mean, I'm really I'm really flabbergasted. I'm really flabbergasted that um, how forced Americanization, or you might call it forcing American culture, language, and ideas on the people who have been here longer, way longer, before the American settlers moved across the the Mississippi River. I mean, and yet they have pretty much erased they've erased the identity, culture of a people. And my question is that morally right? I mean, American people in this country like to say, I don't like ideas crammed down my throat. I don't like anybody else's idea crammed down my throat. Well, we've crammed our culture down the throat of these people, and now they pretty much lost that part of their identity. And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. But I'm just looking for... But anyhow, I would love to see more efforts into revivals. But one of the negative things that has been stated is like younger people don't want to know, don't care about about learning about their the culture that brought them here. And I mean, it's like I said, one of my ancestors was French, and again, that's I mean, even though we became part of he became part of the American culture. It just eventually that identity became so forgotten, and nobody, wasn't until the research I done that my family ever knew about this. So it's the same thing for these for this region, for these two areas of Missouri. They pretty much lost the connection to the past, or beginning to lose it. And with no one that wants to get in touch, that culture will not be passed on. And that's why I mean is that it's going to eventually become extinct. Because now, I mean, I understand, and this is what I mean. This is the big thing, people. This is what I mean. There's nothing wrong with being in touch with now, with the here and now, being a part of American culture, but also never forget your roots. Where you're from, who, what was the culture that preceded you? because it is a part of you, just like French is a big part of the state's history, culture. Instead of being and instead of considering these languages as something that's foreign or considered backwards or not, or anything that's a liability, the state should turn it into an asset. Seriously, I mean, like down in Louisiana, I think, if I read right, that the Acadians down there are learning to take and use their language for assets, because a lot of the people from France are flying over as tourists and spending money there in Louisiana because they can pretty much understand each other to a degree. Although what I've read is that those from France will have to spend a little bit of time there in Louisiana to kind of get accustomed to the kind of differences, because you gotta think there's many years of separation between the French spoken in Louisiana and the French spoken in France, and they've diverged slightly. So they have to spend time trying to get an idea, but they generally can understand what I understand. But anyhow, the point of what I'm trying to say is they're using it to they can use it to their advantage to create tourism dollars that bring into the state economy. And I applaud the Cajuns down there for doing so, figuring out how to do that. Make something that you would consider a blight in history your greatest asset. Don't make anything about about ideologies. No. It's like if we in Missouri would bring back and solidify our French culture, our German culture, we could possibly use that to bring tourism dollars and tax revenue into the state. If everyone would get with the program over there. And I don't think Jefferson City has ever thought of that. Is use it for their advantage. I think Saint Genevieve, the oldest French settlement in the state, is actually doing that a little bit. Although, sadly, the town does not speak French. But a lot of the French colonial buildings still remain. And that could be used, they could use that to their advantage. It just, like I said, the language needs a revival. And maybe like I said, we could use it to our advantage to bring more tourists from the French-speaking world, bring them in to and have them stay, check out the areas, and see what has happened to how French has changed in the area in the many years of separation. And there, same way with German. Same thing. And like I said, that'll be the best thing that we could do is really try to use it to our advantage. Anyhow, enough rambling on, but I just want to touch on the two minority languages of Missouri, how they've existed almost for the beginning of the state and before, and how we're about to lose them, and how we can use them to our asset if everyone gets with the program. And like I said, I sincerely hope that there'll probably a return and revival, because like I said, with my own self, I still wish that my family could still speak French, but we don't. So, anywho, I hope you find this video a little delightful. It's a refreshing change from my normal criticism. But anywho, like I said, I hope I see you in the next video. And please keep this idea and keep these ideas in mind, and maybe something happens along the way. And I also give credit, and like I said, I give credit to those who are trying to make a revival. I know one person is trying to revive the Pawpaw French and the Platt German, Platt Deutsch. And there's one, I think there's, if I remember right, there's a person each. One person is trying to revive the Pawpaw French, another person trying to do Platt Deutsch. And I give them credit for trying. I hope they succeed. Anyhow, I'll see you in the next video.